Setting rules and reminders for your online classes. A production of Tuition Near Me. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to dive into the topic of setting rules and reminders for online classes with all of you. I trust you're all eager and prepared to embark on this learning journey with me. It's important to remember that we are a team, and it's crucial that we show respect and provide support to one another throughout this process. Today, we will focus on the art of curating online classes, ensuring that your students can derive the utmost enjoyment from their learning experiences with you. Let's dive in and explore the best practices that will enable us to create a positive and engaging online learning environment. Thank you for joining me, and let's make this session a productive and enriching one. Before we start, I'd like to share a quote by Albert Einstein that is, "Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it." All right, so I hope this provides some food for thought. Something that I hope that we can keep in mind when creating and curating lessons for our students. Now, let's move on to the main presentation, that is, learning how to create a healthy and productive learning environment for your students. It's important to create a healthy and productive environment for all of your online classes. This is why we need to bear in mind some important reminders to ensure our virtual classroom runs smoothly. Firstly, let's keep in mind the classroom reminders. It's essential that students follow these simple rules during your class sessions to maintain a respectful and efficient learning environment. Additionally, we will also talk about online etiquette. It's crucial for your students to practice proper behavior and good manners in your online classroom. This includes being respectful to their peers and the instructor, using appropriate language, and being mindful of their actions while participating in class discussions and activities. By adhering to these guidelines, we can ensure that our virtual classroom remains a positive and inclusive space for everyone. Thank you for attending today's lesson, and let's work together to make our virtual learning experience a successful one. Let's start with classroom reminder. And I want to take a few minutes to talk about the best practices for managing an online class and the importance of being on time to prepare before the classes begin. First and foremost, it's crucial to set up early so that you're good and ready when class starts. This means getting to your study space a few minutes before class and making sure your internet connection and computer are working. By setting up early, you can avoid any last-minute technical issues and ensure a smooth start to our learning sessions. This will help us make the most out of our time together and allow us to focus on the content of the class rather than troubleshooting technical problems. So, I encourage you all to prioritize being on time and prepared for our online classes. It will make a significant difference in our overall learning experience. Now, I want to share about the importance of being prepared for your classes. For an online class, always ensure that you're prepared and organized. First and foremost, it's crucial to have everything you need within reach before the class starts. This includes your books, homework, notebook, pencils, and any other materials that may be necessary for the session. By preparing in advance, you'll be able to easily guide your students along and have them to participate actively in the class. Additionally, be sure to check your internet connection, audio, and video settings before the class begins to avoid any technical issues during the session. It's also helpful to find a quiet and well-lit space to minimize distractions and ensure clear communication with the students. Finally, maintaining a positive and proactive attitude towards learning in an online environment can greatly enhance your overall experience and success in the class. By following these best practices, you'll be well prepared and ready to make the most of your online teaching experience. Now, let's talk about the importance of wearing appropriate clothing for online classes for both tutors and students. Wearing appropriate clothing is a form of respect for both parties involved in the online class. Just as we would dress appropriately for an in-person class or a professional meeting, it's important to maintain that level of respect in our online interactions as well. But beyond respect, there are several other benefits to wearing appropriate clothing for online classes. When we dress in a presentable manner, it can actually enhance our focus and productivity. It helps to create a mindset that we are ready to engage in a learning or teaching environment. It also signals to others that we take the class seriously and are ready to participate actively. Moreover, dressing appropriately can also boost our confidence and self-esteem. When we feel good about how we look, it can positively impact our overall mood and performance during the class. It's a way of showing up for ourselves and for others, even in a virtual setting. Additionally, wearing appropriate clothing sets a positive example for others. As tutors, when we dress professionally, it sets a standard for our students and creates a professional learning environment. For students, dressing appropriately shows that they are taking their education seriously and are committed to their academic pursuits. All right, let's move to the next segment. That is about the importance of being respectful to each other in our online class. It's crucial that we create a positive and inclusive learning environment for everyone to feel comfortable and valued. Tutors should encourage all students to listen attentively to each other. When someone is speaking, it's important to give them your full attention. This shows respect for their thoughts and ideas and helps to foster a sense of community within the class. Another best practice is remind your student to raise their hands before speaking. This helps to maintain order and ensures that everyone has a chance to contribute to the discussion. It also shows respect for the speaker by allowing them to finish their thoughts without interruption. In addition to these best practices, there are other ways we can show respect in our online class. This includes using polite language, refraining from making derogatory comments, and being mindful of our tone and body language during virtual interactions. By being respectful in our online class, we not only create a positive learning environment, but we also benefit in many ways. When we show respect to each other, we build trust and rapport, which can lead to more meaningful and productive discussions. It also helps to create a safe and supportive space for everyone to express their thoughts and opinions without fear of judgment. Now, about the importance of online etiquette in an online class setting. As we continue to adapt to virtual learning, it's crucial that we understand the best practices for engaging in online classes. Let's dive into the different types of good behaviors and manners that we should exhibit in an online class. A crucial aspect of online etiquette is to maintain a professional and appropriate demeanor. This includes dressing appropriately for online classes and refraining from engaging in distracting behavior, such as using your phone or eating during class time. Furthermore, demonstrating active participation and engagement is key. This involves being attentive, asking questions, and contributing to class discussions. Remember to use the chat function respectfully by asking relevant questions or contributing to the discussion without disrupting the flow of the class. Now, let's look at how teachers can promote these behaviors. Setting clear expectations from the outset is essential. Teachers can establish guidelines for online etiquette and communication and encourage students to adhere to these standards. Utilizing interactive activities and group discussions can also foster a positive and engaging learning environment. So, what are the benefits of exhibiting good behaviors in an online class? Well, first and foremost, it creates a conducive learning environment for everyone. It allows for better concentration, participation, and ultimately improved learning outcomes. Additionally, it cultivates a sense of respect and courtesy among classmates and the teacher, enhancing the overall experience of the online class. Having good manners and behaviors in an online class is essential for creating a positive and productive learning environment. By exhibiting respect, professionalism, and active engagement, we can all contribute to a more enriching online learning experience. Always remember to remind your students to keep their microphones muted during online classes. It's really important to minimize background noise and distractions to create a conducive learning environment for everyone. When our microphones are unmuted, even small background noises like typing, shuffling papers, or background conversations can be quite disruptive. By muting our mics when we're not speaking, we can help reduce these distractions and ensure that everyone can focus on the lesson. Before students start to speak in an online class, they should check if their microphone is muted or not. This helps in preventing any unintended background noise from disrupting the class. When they're ready to speak, simply unmute their microphone, speak clearly, and then remember to mute it again once they're done. Now I want to discuss about the best practices for using the chat box in our virtual classroom. It's important that we maintain responsibility when using the chat box, especially when it comes to class-related matters. Using the chat box for class-related matters is crucial for maintaining a productive learning environment. Whether it's asking questions about the material or engaging in discussions related to the lesson, the chat box serves as a valuable tool for enhancing our learning experience. We need to understand that there's a difference between reading and hearing. When we communicate through the chat box, the message is read by others rather than heard. This means that there is greater potential for misinterpretation or misunderstanding. Therefore, it's crucial to think carefully before sending questions or comments. By doing so, we can ensure that our messages are clear, respectful, and relevant to the discussion at hand. It's easy to get distracted when attending class virtually, but being fully present has numerous benefits that can greatly impact the student's learning experience. First off, when the students are fully present in their online classes, they are better able to engage with the material being presented. This means students can ask questions, participate in discussions, and overall, absorb the information more effectively. Playing games or using phones for non-class related activities during online classes can be a big distraction. Not only does it take students' attention away from the lesson, but it also sends a message to the teacher and other classmates that the student is not fully engaged. In addition to avoiding phone use, it's important to refrain from other bad practices, such as multitasking with other homework or browsing social media. When students are not fully focused, they will miss out on valuable information and opportunities to learn. During online classes, students should focus on actively participating and taking notes. Taking notes not only helps students retain information, but also keeps them engaged and focused on the material being presented. Another bad practice to avoid is students moving away from their study area during class. This can be distracting to both teachers and classmates. Instead, students should find a quiet and comfortable space to attend their classes and ensure that they have all the necessary materials within reach. Now, let's address the issue of distractions. When attending online classes, it's easy for students to become distracted by their surroundings. Whether it's checking their phones, browsing the internet, or engaging in other activities, these distractions can significantly hinder their ability to focus and absorb the material being presented. By asking them to remove these distractions and creating a dedicated study space, they can improve their concentration and ultimately enhance our learning experience. Students must be reminded to treat online classes as real classes. Just because they're attending classes virtually doesn't mean they should approach them with any less seriousness than they would in a physical classroom. It's essential to maintain the same level of respect, attentiveness, and participation as they would in a traditional setting. By doing so, they not only show respect to their instructors and fellow classmates, but they also set ourselves up for academic success. We need to encourage our students to never be afraid to ask questions. Remember, asking questions is a sign of curiosity and a desire to learn. It's okay to seek clarification or further understanding on any topic we cover in class. Their questions not only benefit themselves, but also help their classmates who might have similar doubts. Next, I'd like to remind you about the importance of getting students to submit assignments correctly and on time. Get them to pay close attention to the guidelines provided for each assignment and make sure that they follow them diligently. This not only reflects their commitment to the work, but also helps in efficient grading and feedback. It's also important for students to maintain a courteous and polite environment in our classroom. Let's encourage our students to make a conscious effort to be respectful and considerate in their interactions with each other, whether in person or online. A kind and supportive atmosphere enhances their learning environment and makes it more enjoyable for everyone. In today's digital age, it's easy to spend a lot of time online. I encourage you to remind students to take regular breaks from their screens. It's important to rest their eyes and refresh their mind. Stepping away from the screen for a while can improve focus and overall well-being. Also, keeping up with lessons and homework is essential for students' academic progress. Make sure to remind your students to manage their time effectively and stay organized. Consistent effort and dedication will help them grasp the material more effectively and reduce the stress of last-minute work. Lastly, let's always try to get the students to support each other as classmates. They're all in this together and can benefit from mutual encouragement and assistance. Whether it's helping a peer understand a concept, offering a listening ear, or collaborating on projects, let's nurture a culture of support and teamwork in online classes. All right, that's the end of our lecture, and we look forward to seeing you in the upcoming lectures.
Tuition Near Me, your number one portal for everything that is related to education. See you at Tuition Near Me.